This is the IS-8, and this is the ST-1. Both of these are two Tier 9 Soviet tech tree heavies that have just gotten their PBR graphics prior to the latest update of the game, and now the vehicles look 10 times more stunning to what they used to look like before they had them. But in return, it did affect their individual stats apart from that. Starting off with the IS-8, it did lose a little bit of millimeters thickness of its frontal turret armor, going from 238 now down to 200. Its power to weight also got a significant decrease, going from 15.4 now down to 15.1. But something to kind of make up for that is that the vehicle got better accuracy in terms of its aiming time and dispersion, now at 4.2 seconds with 0.277 dispersion. Paired with the fact that you also have tungsten rounds that will surpass the limits of your average alpha damage by about 105 to 125% of that. So that's a really significant upside to being in a vehicle like this. Now going for the ST-1, the vehicle received more hull armor, and it basically remained in that state after they nerfed it once and then they put it back to normal. So now once you're using this thing hull down, as this vehicle does have 2 more degrees of gun depression than the IS-8 does at 5 degrees, you're able to get a lot more troll bounces than what you typically could expect, especially when using a tank in a hull down position like this. In terms of the ST-1 as well, it did gain a little bit more of its aiming time from 5.1 seconds from its original 5.4 seconds, and pretty much just in terms of that, they basically just implemented a stronger bit of the ST-1. Not only that, it still has its super speed boost to kind of give it an advantage in terms of its forward and reverse speed along with that, which in return it can be quite significant to getting in and out of danger zones more effectively. So, we are going to demonstrate some gameplay with the new and improved IS-8 and the ST-1, both of these two Tier 9 Soviet tech tree heavies, and see how we can perform in terms of their individual playstyles. So here we are loaded on into our first game. Let's see what they got in terms of their heavies. They have an E75, a Kampfpanzer 70, a AMX 5100, and that looks to be all they would have. So let's go ahead and mosey our way over to the left side and see how we can fare well until then. So let's go ahead and use the OK maneuverability of this vehicle. The surprising thing about the IS-7 as well is that you still have under a 10-second reload time. It did remain the same to when it did get its PBR graphics. I mean, its DPM was already crazy to start with, so they nerfed it just a little bit, so now it's only at 9.6 seconds. To when if you are running refined gun, that puts it to 9.2. It used to almost be 8.9 seconds flat, but they ended up changing it apart from that. We already got the Kampfpanzer 70 off to the back. He pens us once, but we get a 475 tap into his vehicle, which is something that I'm okay about. Alright, well, we got a Contra looks like he's coming on through as well. Let's see if we can maybe get a tap into him real quick. There he is. Alright, there we go. 355 tap into him. That's the good part about the accuracy of this vehicle, as it did get more accurate apart from its aiming time and dispersion. Let's go ahead and plop on our tungsten and get a bounce on the Contra. That is slightly unfortunate. So let's just go ahead and stay put right here. Looks like the Kampfpanzer 70 is going to poke on out once again. We also got the E75, but I do not want to get kerblunkered by this Contra, so I'm just going to stay put right here and see if I can get another tap into his vehicle if he does end up deciding to poke again, which he does, and we do end up making up for that second shell that we fired into him for 449 damage. Alright, so reloading again. We are just going to wait right here, see if this Contra is going to poke. Okay, I'm behind a rock for some odd reason. Alright, Contra, where are you at, you stinker? You probably are going to poke that spot again, if I'm not mistaken, which you are, of course. There's another tap into his vehicle for 410. Alright, we're going to plop on our adrenaline real quick, and we are going to get another quick slap into this guy real quick, just like that for 381, and of course he bounces us, which is pretty good. Alright, so now he's going to continue back on up into submission right there. So let's go ahead and mosey on upward over towards the E75 then, and get a nice 418 tap into his vehicle. It looks like that we are going to lose this game, possibly by the looks of it, considering that my team is not really benefiting themselves to the best of their ability. We got the E75, and unfortunately we were not able to locate his lower plates, which is totally alright. So we got the Kampfpanzer 70, we got the E75. Looks like the Kampfpanzer is going to try to make a very aggressive maneuver, try to see if we can get a tap into our Jagdtiger, and that unfortunately was not the case. Jagdtiger gets a nice tap into the E75, so let's go ahead and mosey on up over towards him and get a nice tap for 383 into his turret. So the pen factors really doesn't make a difference for this vehicle. I mean, it still remained in a stationary state now that they implemented the same exact thing over towards its Tier 9 counterpart being the ST-1. So, let's just go ahead and finish off this enemy Conchakara real quick. Beautiful. Alright, and then we are going to mosey on up towards the E75. Well, I did expect that we were going to lose this game, but it did not end up being the case. Let's go ahead and miss the E75. That is a beautiful shot right there, apart from the gun receiving changes. So, let's go ahead and mosey up one more time over to this guy, and let's guarantee the pen by running a heat shell into him. Very nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and mosey on over towards the enemy mouse tank. It looks like that he is a one-shot for us, but we are probably not going to have enough time in order to get that. Of course not. But hey, I can't complain. We still managed to do above 3,000 damage in this one, and it really just goes to show that the IS-7's gun can still be just as effective as what it used to be before it had its PBR graphics, although it didn't really make slight of a bit of a difference between that, although that it did get a major change apart from the calibrated shells getting a buff as well, but also apart from the balance changes along with that. So we were able to do top on the team in this one. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop on into our second battle with this thing and see how we could fare well until then. Always have and always will be a fan of the IS-8. It was possibly one of my favorite tier 9 vehicles to grind, and it was possibly the quickest that I have grinded as a part of getting to the tier 10, which is the IS-7, and I can't really complain. It still is just as fun today as it was back then, now that it has received changes, and now that it has a more accurate gun than what it used to have. Alright, so making our way into our second battle, they have a Mil-2, they have a KV-4 it looks like, and that looks to be, in terms of their heavies, a Panzer 07 as well, along with that. So let's see if we can fare well apart from that. So let's just go ahead and mosey our way over to the right. Looks like everybody is going this way. That's a pretty good sign apart from that. Let's just go ahead and use our solid maneuverability. Okay, I was hoping our RHM would not be able to collide with us. Well, that's the good thing, so wanted to be slightly careful, though, in case that they have anybody going over towards the far right. I don't really have the best of gun depression either, so I think the best possible explanation that I could do is maybe peck off the Stritzbong 81 if he does end up decide to poke, which it looks like that he's going balls to the wall, and it looks like that is going to be the case apart from his vehicle. So I want to be slightly ready, just in case if he does end up poking his little turret out over to this side, which it looks like that he is. So nothing I can do apart from him at the moment, but it looks like that he might poke. We also got the Panzer making an aggressive maneuver up top. Alright, so the Stritzfong is over here out in the open somewhere, to which unfortunately we are not able to spot him, but he is able to outspot us because that thing, even though that it has a rapid firing gun, has very ridiculous view range in terms of that. Alright, well we also got we got a T-30 going balls to the wall as well. So, let's just go ahead and see if we can get a quick tap into him real quick. There we go, 391 shot, and he does miss us apart from that. Beautiful. That's a good baiting shot right there. So the T-30 is getting absolutely kerblunkered apart from that, and we still got the Stritzbong over there. A little worried about him, so I'm just not going to actually, you know what? I don't really care. Oh, yes, I do now. Alright, there he is. Let's see if he can overmatch that turret of his. Just barely misses, unfortunately enough. So he did try to get that shell into us, or that was the LT-42 now that he's over here, interestingly enough. Alright, so we got the Stritzbong moving on up again. Can't spot him once again, apparently, because that thing has leopard levels of freaking camo factors, so that's unfortunate. So I'm just going to continue to back on up right over here. We got the Panzer 07 making a very aggressive maneuver. Let's see if we can maybe get a tap into his vehicle real quick. There we go, 390 into him. We got the Emil coming off over to the side as well. Not really worried about him at the moment as he's not really eyeballing us. But it looks like that we can overmatch the side of his turret. There we go, 434 shot. Alright, so let's reload again. Let's see if we can maybe get a clear into the Panzer real quick. Alright, looks like that he's aiming on out. But that's the good thing about having solid pen factors, is I can butter right through that Emil's turret like absolutely nothing. Alright, so this guy's going to try to hit us, but he does end up missing us, which is really good. We also got the Stritzbong out in the open off to the side. Let's see if we can maybe poke on out and get a nice tap for 375 into his turret. So the gun on this thing is actually really nice still to this day. I'm really glad that they decided to want to give this thing a aiming time and dispersion buff, because it's something that this tank really needed apart from that. Alright, well we got the Stritzbong. Not going to poke that out at the moment, so I'm just going to have to rely on holding this side off at the time being. So, the Stritzbong is still over there. We also got the LT that was flanking us apparently. So, Alright, well, we got the mill right there. Let's go ahead and bounce his turret, unfortunately enough. But he does bounce us in return, which is also fairly solid. So let's just go ahead and wiggle our turret upwards a little bit. Ooh, and there's the T-30. But the good news is that he's finished off. So that's a little bit of a less concern apart from our behalf. That gives us the opportunity to get another 380 tap into him. LT gets cleared. That's also a very good sign. So we also got these two off to the side. We got the Stritzbong. It looks like he's backing up. Let's plop on our Tungsten real quick. Alright, not able to get that shell out, but I can end up hitting this guy for 404 using my heats. Alright, and reloading again. Maybe I can get the clear into the mill. And it looks like the Sioux is getting absolutely kerblunkered. So I think the way to play this right is to maybe go for this guy first. I can really not complain about the Stritzbong off in the back, so let's go ahead and clear you real quick, and then let's go ahead and mosey on over towards you. Don't really clear if you get the clear into me, which you can't really pen me in terms of that. So let's go ahead and get another nice tap for 461, and he's going to pen me once again, and it looks like the E50 is probably going to get another nice tap into me, or the Stritzbong can finish me off. Well, that's totally okay in terms of that. Although we did demonstrate some fairly solid gameplay, it was just that our team couldn't hold to the best of their ability, which is unfortunate apart from their behalf. Another 3,000 damage game, and we were able to block 1,100 damage apart from that. Kind of obvious that we did top on the team, and our team just fell apart at the last second, so that's kind of unfortunate in terms of that. Alrighty then, so let's go ahead and mosey on over to the ST1. This is a little bit of a rat vehicle, considering that its aiming time and dispersion is a little bit worse than the IS-8's is, and at times it can whiff a lot more shots than what it is. Apart from the sheer size of this vehicle, as it did get a little bit more of an aerodynamic turret after it got its PBR graphics, and it did get slightly stronger in terms of its physical armor profile, kind of the same to what they did when it used to have 160 millimeters before it got PBR, and then apart from the balance changes, they decided to nerf it, and then now at the current state, they decided to buff it once again for absolutely no reason. I don't really know why, but okay, that's just wargaming for you in terms of balance changes. So anyways, here we are in a battle, so let's go ahead and see what they got. They have a K2, a Type 57, and a Skoda T27. Along with a T92E1, WZ111 GFT. Alright, interesting lineup. We got the Tiger 2 already spotted. Not really nothing I can do towards him, for I actually can't pen him with standard ammunition, surprisingly enough, for a nice top of 400 damage. So, and it looks like that Tiger is getting absolutely kerblunkered in the process, so he's not really a major threat of ours no more. So let's just go ahead and go on into the front line over here. Looks like we got a K2 off to the side, not really worried about him. Let's just go ahead and use our super speed boost to our advantage. We also got the WZ111 GFT off in the back. Let's go ahead and see if we can maybe get a tap into his vehicle if we can spot him. Unfortunately not. We also got the K2 off to the side. I'm not going to get that shell out into him at the moment. We also got the Tiger off to the side, who's making a very aggressive move once again. 404 shot, and he does bounce us, of course. So let's go ahead and reload yet again. We're going to plop on our adrenaline just in case and see if we can get a tap into this enemy K2 right here. Alright, not really, as I don't really want to risk missing a shot again. So let's see. We got the Type off to the side. We got the K2. WZ is off in the back. So let's see. K2 is going to poke once again. Alright, now at a position to where I can fully on-pen him for 414, of course. So at times, the ST1's gun can feel slightly nice when you're able to just hit shells exactly to where you're directly aiming at. So we got the K2 once again. He just bounces me in a scrape. And we get a nice max roll of 525 along with that. Surprisingly enough, the gun is actually doing me really nice right now. And I am actually surprised that 5.1 seconds of aiming time can really do the job well done. Alright, so we're going to get in another side scrape right here for this Type. Alright, looks like that we can't pen him in that cheek right there for 416. Alright, and now we're just going to back on up as the Kano and Yak Panther along with the K2 is off to my side. So I don't really care. We're just going to super speed boost our way out of submission real quick. And, alright, just go with my teammates. Alright, and then we're just going to kind of rely on holding this side off. We got the Kano and Yak Panther right there. Okay, Ping, thank you so much for that. I can't even move forward and backwards, which is unfortunate. Alright, so I do get pecked off by the Skodos off over here. And it looks like we are going to lose this battle once again, unfortunately enough. So, let's go ahead and aim on into that Kanoan, and for a nice tap of 417. And now we're just going to back on up and then just rely on holding the side off. We got the Skoda right off to the back. Maybe we can get a clear into him real quick, maybe. just low rolls a 457, which is totally alright. Not that these enemies are pretty much just going to have a little bit of stress trying to deal with me at the moment, and he does bounce us in terms of that. We got the Kano and Yak Panzer going aggressive, and he does get cleared apart from that. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and mosey on out right over here, and then we're just going to get a tap into the type real quick. There we go, 427 tap into you. Alright, so let's just go ahead, and unfortunately my ammo rack is detonated, so that's unfortunate. We are getting a lot of troll balances, as you can see right there, but holy cow, man, that's just where the armor, or the front, or the upper plate just really got a significant change, or it just demonstrates that you can get a lot of troll bounces, and we blocked as much damage as we did, which is actually really crazy to even think about. And another instance to where we did top on the team in this one, and our team fell apart once again. Alrighty then, so let's go ahead and demonstrate another battle in the ST1 and see if we can have just as good as a performance as this one. So, in terms of the armor profile, on flat ground, you can see that the majority of tier 8s were struggling to try to pen our upper plate. That's really just the case to where tier 8s are pretty much just going to have a hard time trying to pen this thing nowadays, because this upper plate is just absolutely insane, especially when you're using it in a hold down position. So, let's see what they got. They have a 50 TP, they have an IS-3 Defender, Tiger 2, alright, that seems to be all they got. So let's go over to the left side. It looks like the majority of our vehicles are going that way. I have no idea where our comp Panzer is going at the moment. So let's see how we can fare well apart from this, and maybe we can get some more kerblunkers into these enemies if they end up plopping themselves out in the open over here. So we're going to kind of use our super speed boost right now to get into the front line as quick as possible. We got the AMX-31ER prototype already off in the back. I'm not really worried about him. The T-49 gets a nice tap into him, surprisingly enough. Yeah, oof is definitely right, bro. That is crazy, bro. Alright, well, we got the AMX once again, so let's go ahead and let's go in a hold down spot right here. He is not really eyeballing us at the moment, which is totally alright. Let's maybe see if we can get a tap into this guy if he does end up poking out once again, which it looks like that he's not. Well, it looks like we got the RU-251 coming below. Looks like that we got this guy that's plopping himself out as well, so maybe we can get a tap into his vehicle. Fortunately not, as he does end up moving at the last second, so that's unfortunate. We also got the ISU off to the side. We got the RU once again. Alright, well, we got the ISU. Looks like we can hit him within our peripheral point of view for 447, and he's getting absolutely kerblunkered once again. We also got the IS-3 Defender off to the side. Let's see if we can get some taps into his vehicle. So let's go ahead and get into a side scrape right here, and let's go ahead. Okay, my teammate just collided into me, which is unfortunate. Alright, we get a nice tap into you. We got the AMX, who unfortunately pens me once, which is totally alright. Bruh, you gotta move out of the way, like seriously, bro. Alright, well, we got the IS-3 Defender once again for another nice tap at 380. That's full dispersion, by the way, surprisingly enough, and I can't even believe we managed to get that shell out. Alright, well, we got the RU-251. He is making a dire misplay apart from that, and he is out of the game, so goodbye, good sir. Alright, well, we got the AMX-31ER once again, so let's go ahead and mosey our way over towards him, and do this a little bit carefully. Although we have 8 degrees of gun depression, we can slightly have the mirror advantage of this guy, if we manage to hit our shots, that is, which is unfortunate that we missed. Alright, so the T-49 is going to try to distract him at the moment. So that's going to give me the mirror advantage to mosey on up over towards him and see if I can get a nice tap into his vehicle. So I'm just going to mosey on over to this side where my T-49 is going at the moment. And come here, you stinker. You know you want to play with me. Alright, well, that's our T-49's fault, apparently. I don't really know what dire misspoke or play that he was taking apart from his behalf. So, let's just go ahead and mosey our way through like this. And I am going to have a little bit of trouble trying to do so. So, the only thing that I can really do is I can block this guy from continuing to get further taps into me. And yes, and now he's going to try to leave, which unfortunately does not work. Alright, so there we go. Nice clear into you. We also got the Pergetto off in the back. We got 3 enemies left. It looks like that this is a winnable situation if I do manage to play this properly. So let's go to mosey on through right around over here, and let's use this as our hold down spot. We got the 50 off in the back. Alright, so let's go ahead and see if we can get a tap into this 50 right there. Alright, he is playing a little weird, so... Alright, so he is poking himself once again. The only way that I can pin him really is with AGs, or if I do manage to hit him in the hatch, which unfortunately is not the case. So this looks like it's going to be a tragic loss once again, but that's really alright. So we got the Prog coming on up now. Looks like that he's going to do this fairly aggressively, so let's go ahead and track him in the process. Alright, that is totally alright. And wiggle our way into submission, putting on our super speed boost once again. We could probably win this guy, outwin this guy in a 1v1 scenario. So let's go ahead and get another tap for 423 into you. Alright, 50 TP misses, that is totally alright. We got the Tiger as well. So, 3, 2, 1, misses again. So let's go ahead and get a quick tap for 427. This is another 3,000 damage game apart from that. Although, it didn't really end to our fortunate upfall once again, and we had another tragic team apart from that. That is just unfortunate Blitz teams at the moment that really have no idea where to plant themselves on the map, or just in general outdo or outsmart the majority of their enemies, because that's average 40%er fest. And I can prove to you guys in such case once again. Look at the IS-6, 48%. Tortoise is obviously a 40%er. Companzer obviously a 40%er. T-49, surprisingly enough, a good player, but unfortunately he didn't prove to be a good player. 50%, and of course a... Wow, our 50%ers were the ones that actually did... all three of them did the lowest 3 on the team. Jeez, that's crazy. Alright, well, we were able to win 1 battle out of 4, which is actually quite crazy, but that doesn't take away the fact that these vehicles are actually still fairly solid to this day, especially for the fact that they've received the changes that pretty much they needed in order to surpass what they originally were before they got their PBR graphics. Really just goes to show that these are really good vehicles, especially for the ST1. Getting that upper plate buff is significantly as much better as what it was before it had its PBR graphics. So both vehicles are equally just as good as they are, and I would recommend to get both of them or grind them through, as they are fairly fun in their each separate ways. So hopefully you guys did end up enjoying today's video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to turn on those bell notifications while you're at it so you do not miss out on any new videos. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.